We just heard the Big Ben chiming behind us, 6:30 in the morning this Friday. I'm joined now, though, by Sir Craig Oliver. He is the former Director of Communications for the former Prime Minister, of course, David Cameron. Thank you very much for joining us, sir. Theresa May, is her position now untenable?
I don't know that it's untenable, but I think it's certainly very difficult. She's going to have a huge amount of pressure on her. She didn't have to call the election. She made herself very much the centre of that. Conservative MPs, some are already coming out and questioning that. And I just think there's going to be an intense amount of pressure on her. But knowing her, I suspect she'll want to see where all the cards have fallen before she makes a decision.
How much of this is the Tory party manifesto to blame, or how much of it is circumstance, for example, the fact that we've, of course, had those two terror attacks in the UK over the last 7 weeks?
There's going to be a huge post-mortem, and I think that, as ever, there's never one factor. I think that the manifesto clearly was a huge problem, because not only was it a social care issue, there were other things like taking away the winter fuel payment from people in England, but not in Scotland. That made people angry. There wasn't a real retail policy in the manifesto that could make people feel good as well. Lots of other things. Jeremy Corbyn definitely managed to get young people out to vote, which a lot of people haven't managed to achieve before. So when the post-mortem's done, I think there's going to be a lot of things that people are focusing on.
You were at the coalface in Downing Street when the Brexit referendum was happening, and Theresa May has very much focused her entire campaign this time round on Brexit. Strengthen my hand and I will go to Brussels, being able to put Britain first. Do you think that she has misjudged, or that the Conservative Party have misjudged the public mood when it comes to Brexit and what the priorities are for the people here?
And strangely, I don't think she did manage to get Brexit front and centre in people's minds. I think a lot of people thought, oh, we dealt with Brexit last year in the referendum. Now I want to talk about the public services and concerns about various other things that are going on. So the reality is the British public often isn't necessarily on the same page as the politicians. And I think that when the analysis is done, a lot of people will say concern over the NHS, concern over police cuts, concern over a number of other public services will be an issue.
Jeremy Corbyn, derided by many of his parliamentary colleagues for so long as the Labour leader, but he does seem to have now a huge amount of national support, at least. What are his chances of actually entering Downing Street, do you think, as our Prime Minister?
Very, very slim. I think we've also got to remember, look, this is the election that nobody won. The Labour Party did not win this election. They're nearly 60 seats behind the Conservative Party when the final tally is done. The Liberal Democrats didn't do very well. Nicola Sturgeon in Scotland didn't do very well. But definitely the worst performer of all is Theresa May. And that's because the expectations were so high for her, and she's failed to meet those expectations.
As far as the Conservative Party is concerned now, if Theresa May does announce that she will be standing down, how soon can a replacement be in Downing Street and then also going to
I think the
Brussels
only way to do it, the only way to do it would be to say that you remain as a caretaker Prime Minister while an election takes place. Because
is that what your expectation of what she'll say at 10?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think my gut is that she's somebody who would want to wait a little bit longer and see how things move out. But you never know. It has been a devastating result for the Conservative Party, and it's perfectly possible. But the reality is, you can't have a situation where there is no Prime Minister. So it's perfectly possible that she could announce that, or she could say, I'm going to fight on. It's too important. I'm going to stay in.
And who are the people, men, women, who might come to the fore?
Well, you're hearing lots of stuff about Boris Johnson, who very pointedly, when asked, didn't say, oh, I'm fully back Theresa May. Amber Rudd, when asked about possible leadership things, said, oh, I'm just focusing on tonight. There's a lot of word about whether or not David Davis sees that he could be a leader of the Conservative Party. A lot of people are also talking about Ruth Davidson, even though she's not an MP, so she technically can't become leader of the Conservative Party. But a lot of people have been very impressed by her performance tonight.
In Scotland, of course.
In Scotland, she's actually outshone the rest of the Conservative Party by reversing things in Scotland. And actually, if they hadn't done as well in Scotland, they would be in real trouble.
Overall, do you think this is a ringing endorsement for Jeremy Corbyn, or just a backlash against Theresa May and her Brexit agenda?
I think you have to be really careful about saying that it's a ringing endorsement for Jeremy Corbyn. He's done really well in the sense that he's massively outplayed expectations of him. But he's still the second party by some distance and nowhere near really forming a government with an overall majority. So I think you just need to be quite careful about saying how well he's done. Yes, he's done well relative to very low expectations, but he's still the second party.
OK, thank you very much for joining us, Sir Craig Oliver. We very much appreciate it. And Max, of course, now we've just got 10 days to go until those Brexit negotiations are due to begin. There is, of course, a chance that they may push that back, but with less than 2 years to go until Brexit is supposed to be concluded anyway, that wouldn't necessarily wash well with the British public, nor indeed with Brussels and the people we're hoping to make deals with going forward.
Yeah, OK. Hannah, thank you very much indeed. And interesting listening there to Sir Craig Oliver.